Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we are looking at the new Python for the UTB18 and the new Komodo. So this Komodo is the larger Komodo, the 118, but it's slightly different than the previous UTB18 Komodo that they had. This is running a 2208. I don't know if you can see it there. It's a 2208 stator, which is a slightly larger stator. Gets you a little bit more power, so that's a good thing. It's also still running at the 2500 kV. And I believe all the rest of the stats are still the same. It's a 2 to 4S capable, max current 15 amps. 180 watts should be good. Now the Python is where we really got the good upgrade. This guy here is it's a beast. Let's just say that it's got a built-in BEC 5 amp BEC. You can run 5.5 volts up to 7.4 volts, 2 and 3S compatible. It's a waterproof setup with a plastic case. It's got the built-in Bluetooth. It's basically just a straight up plug and play for the UTB18, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to just take a completely stock UTB18 and throw this guy in there. We're going to be using the Furitek Avatar for our receiver because you do need a new receiver. The stock axial transmitter and receiver is a combo, so unfortunately, and there's no channel 2, so unfortunately if you want to go brushless, you have to get a new transmitter and receiver. So that's what we'll do here. If you haven't checked out the Avatar, it's a pretty sweet little transmitter receiver setup. There's a receiver, pretty small. And then the transmitter is also pretty nice and compact. So definitely give that guy a check out. All right, let's go ahead and get our UTB on the desk. There she is, completely stock. Let's get her apart. We got our 4 skid plate screws out, so you should be able to just pop this guy right out. And there you go. Simple as that. Now we do need to get the receiver out of there. Let's see how that guy goes. I actually think we're going to go ahead and pull the shocks off. That'll make it easier to just get in there and work with stuff, because it's still kind of hard. If we were just doing the transmission and motor, popping just that out, I think we'd be fine just to do it this way, but because we got to get all the electronics out as well, let's just get her apart. All right, our 4 shocks are out. Boom. You can just pull this guy out like so. Let's see. Our servo wire is somewhere in here. All the wires are kind of wrapped up under this hook, so you can pull that out. Should help you a little bit there. There's also a hook right here. You can pop your wires off that. There's our servo. All these red JSTs, these guys here are for the lights. So we'll go ahead and pop those out. And actually, I think I'm going to pull the interior out. We're going to be showing this at Axial Fest Badlands. As it's one of the demo trucks essentially that we're going to be showing. I mean, it's my truck, but I'm taking it as a demo truck. And I think I want people to be able to see the motor in there. So we're going to pull the interior out as well, just so you can see down in there, and people can get a better appreciation for that slow crawl with the Komodo. Instead of taking the whole cage apart, we're just pushing the interior out through the bottom. Had to clear our battery tray, and then you should be able to kind of squeeze it out through the bottom. It's a tight fit, but you'll get there. You don't want to crack it or break it, but should be able to fit this guy out through here. There we go. Just gotta stretch your cage a little bit, and she'll come right out. Okay. Now we can kind of see our receiver here a little better. Get this guy out, get our power switch out of here. This guy pushes forward. There we go. Yep. And I don't remember if this is screwed in or just glued in. I think it's just like taped in. There we go, popped it out. You can see there's just servo tape in there, so we're going to clean that up and figure out where we're going to mount all of our stuff. Now we're going to go ahead and pop our motor out of our transmission, and we're going to try to do this without pulling the whole transmission out. We're going to leave the transmission in the skid, and we should be able to still swap the motor over. We'll find out. I know this front case piece here pops off without having to pull the whole case apart. That way you can do your mesh and whatnot. So I think you can actually pull the whole motor out without having to pull the whole transmission out. Okay, see there? Should be as simple as these two screws. I like that design. That's super simple. Again, don't have to pull the whole transmission out to change the motor. Nice. Much appreciated, Axial. Okay, so there's our setup. We're going to transfer over our pinion to the other motor. That is way tight. Why is that so tight? We're trying to loosen it. That seems super tight. Ugh. I want to break my driver. Oh, man. All right. It's either cross-threaded from the factory or they use some red Loctite. All right, let's get this guy out of here. Get this guy in here. We're going to put it flush to the front of the shaft here. And let's see where our mounting holes are. Yeah, looks like we'll mount it like that. Keep our wire nice and centered. I do like that they're using these plugs for the motor. That's cool. It's nice and easy to connect. It's important to make sure you get your mesh right. So definitely check your mesh. Oh, you know what? We're going to pull our pinion forward a little more. See that? Looks like it slid back just a little bit off of our motor shaft. We want it sitting a little better with the pinion getting full contact on that gear. So we're going to pop this guy back out and slide him forward. So definitely test fit it. Make sure that you're not too far forward or too far back. You don't want it rubbing on the case, but you also want to maximize the contact with the spur gear there. Okay. We'll go ahead and get her mounted up and get our mesh right. So I don't know if you can see the spur and mesh in there, but you can see, hopefully see that I'm able to move the pinion just a little bit and it does not move the spur. That's a pretty good mesh there. We might be able to be a little closer, but I think we've got enough contact there. I'm not worried about stripping this. Those are pretty good sized teeths. And you do want it to not be tight. You want it to be just enough. Okay. We tightened it up just a little bit. We was just a little too loose. So we're a little more tight now. Still nice and smooth though. All right. Let's go ahead and get the case back together. And then we're going to mount up our electronics. Get it all back together and run it. It's pretty easy installation. If you're newer to the hobby, and you've never installed a new motor, new ESC, it's pretty easy on these guys. So I wouldn't be scared at all. It's just a drop-in, like just no cutting, no soldering, nothing crazy. Just literally 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts inside there. Your 4 shock bolts, so that's 8, and then your 4 body bolts, So 12 bolts, that's it. Super, super simple. Yeah, 4 here, 4 on your skid plate, and 4 on your shocks. I don't think you can ask it to be much easier. All right, exciting, exciting, exciting. Let's go ahead and look at our cage here. I guess we can mount our ESC and receiver in the back again. Usually you kind of want to get everything as forward biased as possible. I mean, we can mount it up in here. Let's see, where's our power switch actually? Oh, power switch is on the side, right here. Okay, and our battery lead is super short. All right, so I do think we do not want to mount this all the way back here because our battery lead is far too short. You can get an extension for that, but yeah, let's go ahead and mount this guy. Let's see if this is like so. Oh, wrong way. Then our most room is going to be on this side, and the motor's offset to that side. So if we put the ESC on this side, it'll help offset some of that weight from the motor being on this side. So I guess we mount her over here. And we'll just put it right in there, I guess. Let's see. As long as our battery lead is accessible. We could put it a little taller, I guess. A little higher up. Actually, I almost wonder, no, because the servo's going to go. I was going to say maybe we could put it right in here, but the servo's going to push up into that, I believe. Here, let's look. Yeah, probably not ideal. Plus, getting the battery in and out would prove to be more difficult. There's not really a good place to mount it, even though there's space. There's no, platform to mount it on. So I guess we're just going to tuck it up in here. I just wonder how low the interior is going to sit once we do put the interior back in, because eventually we will. Oh, nice. I guess the steering wheel is right there, so we could probably, this part's like raised, right? So there's a little bit of room. Stick this guy in here. Yeah. Should be able to tuck this guy right in there and have just enough to reach our battery. All right. So I changed my mind. We're not going to mount it on the side. We're going to mount it directly under the battery tray. We're just X-Actoing out this little brace here so we can sit flush. And then, yeah, we'll be able to mount it right here. No issues. And it actually gives us a little bit more battery. It gets the battery cable a little closer, so that'll be good. You can use a Dremel. Dremel batteries upstairs, so I was just like, well, let's just cut it. Let's use an X-Acto. Probably be easier if this blade was also newer. Slacking. We're slacking with the tools right now. There we go. All right, not the prettiest. Doesn't need to be. Just needs to be flat, more flat. And we want the switch toward the front. And boom. Battery cables maybe not longer. Damn it. Hold on, what's going on here? Oh, we're stuck on the little hook in there. There we go. Not the worst. I wish it was just a little longer. I think the production version is going to be a little bit longer. This is an early version. Worst case, we could always scoot it forward a little more and get us a little bit more battery. But I think we're good for now. All right, so let's get this guy in here. Make sure our clearance is all good. What the hell? we go. There's little holes in here with a little peg. All right, boom. Completely clearing our drive shaft and our links, so we are good, and we can reach our switch. So that's good. Nice. Should work well. Very good, very good, very good. Plenty of room in there. Plenty of room. And we'll probably put our receiver right here on the side. We'll do that. Actually, if we want our rock lights, I guess we could reroute the wire here. Could put the receiver in the back, I guess. That'll keep our wires a little more clean. We'll do that. We'll run the receiver, just put it in the back here. Not a big deal. All right, we got our servo and our motor hooked up. We're going to test it before we get it all together. We've got our model selected, and then we're going to go ahead and get this in bind mode. There's a little button here. Hold that down, turn it on. Should go into bind mode, and then we can go bind here, and we're bound. Ooh, buddy. Looks like we got to reverse our servo, and then our motor. Why do we have no throttle? Let's turn her off. Turn her on. Are we? Maybe we're flipped. Wait. Hold on. Flip this guy. Think negatives down? That doesn't look right. No, that is not correct. What is going on? Oh, there we go. Well, that was odd. Looks like we need to calibrate as well. So we will do that. All right, we got our Furitek app. Boom. Wait, that's not it. Disconnect. Let's reset this guy one more time. So I think it might be that our Furitek app is not updated, so we're going to update it. That's probably why it's not showing, because this is a new ESC, so it may not recognize it. And there we go. That fixed it. So always make sure you update your Furitek app on your phone. And we're going to go ahead and first things first, set our... Okay, just want to check that. Actually, we're going to set our voltage cutoff real quick. And we're going to set our throttle here. Now I like to hold this thing. Oh, it's going to be rough. Let's do this maybe. That way, at least if it goes, it doesn't go off the desk. Let me go ahead and calibrate. Yes. Okay, we're going to set to 0. Okay. Full throttle. Okay. And then full reverse or brake. Okay. Should be fully throttled now, or calibrated. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Alrighty. And there we go. Okay. Seems good. Just barely giving it any, and you just barely get that crawl. That's what we're talking about. That's why we're doing this. All right. Let's get it back together. Get our receiver mounted and get her on the rocks. All right. So we're all cleaned up. Got our motor plug kind of attached to our ESC. We actually use sticky tape there. That'll help keep it out of the way. Coiled up our servo wire, and we've got our receiver mounted in the back there. We're going to tuck these underneath this little clip. looks like. But yeah, we'll tuck those in there, and everything should fit nice and snug. Let's get it on there, and I'll show you again. All right, you can see how nice and clean we are in there now. All of our wires run along the bottom right here to our receiver, and then our rock light still in the stock spot. Pretty slick. You can see the motor in there. Switches right here. Boom. Good there. And we got crawl. It's super smooth and quiet. I like how quiet it is compared to the brushed. It's not super quiet, but it's much quieter than the brush. We got plenty of juice on this guy. Still need to switch our steering. There we go. And of course, when we upgrade the servo to a higher end servo, maybe one of these guys, probably this guy, we'll throw it in there and you'll see just how much more power they have. We kind of wanted to show the truck with just stock, just completely stock, show how easy it is to install and what kind of improvements you get with just a totally stock truck, upgrading to the new motor and new ESC. And then of course we'll do this guy as well. And other stuff. We'll probably end up, it probably isn't going to stay in this chassis. We're probably going to end up doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, but for now, yeah, this guy's looking pretty slick. I dig it. I love that. You just barely give it throttle and boom. And then plenty of wheel speed. Ooh, ooh, buddy. All right, so we're getting on the rocks. Let's go. This system is badass. There's not much to say about it other than that. We basically built this guy to demo at the different events that the Furitek booth was going to be at. So it went with us to quite a few places, but mainly Axial Fest Badlands, as well as Axial West in California at Rob's Resort. And that's why we left, like I said, we left the interior out. So it's been ran quite a bit since all that footage and everything you saw just prior to this ending wrap-up section, I guess. And yeah, I just want to say it's been a beast the whole time. Since then, they've labeled the combo with the ESC and the motor, the Python and the big Komodo, essentially. They're calling it the Torpedo. So we'll put a link to that in the description below. Definitely check it out if you've got one of these. There is the previous version that has the Lizard Pro, and it kind of had some issues with like four-wheel steer or yeah, mainly four-wheel steer. Just the BEC on it didn't have enough amperage, so it would brown out every once in a while. But if you're running like more of a stock rig or a rig that's not super heavy and it's only front steer, that previous version, it'll work fine. But if you're really looking for a lot of power, especially if you're going to run dual, like full-size, badass reef servos or something that's going to draw a lot of amperage, you definitely want to use the Torpedo system. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Why don't you put down in the comments below if you've made it this far, Torpedo incoming. Torpedo incoming if you've watched it all the way to the end here. And yeah, get out there, build something awesome, guys. This thing is going to be sick. We're going to do a lot of stuff to it. Like I said, we're probably not going to keep it in this chassis. At some point, we'll pull it out. We'll put something totally different in. But even in its current form, which is basically stock, it totally transforms the truck. I couldn't say that enough while I was demoing this and the other Furitek systems to people that if you haven't run a Furitek system in one of your minis, you are missing out. You are missing out. Because, again, it changes the entire feel and experience with the truck. So, super excited about this. Yeah, get out there, build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it. Oh, and you should race, crawl, and bash, guys. Check out all the different RC stuff, and you might find something that you didn't expect that you would like. If you're a basher, maybe you should try actually racing. If you're a racer, maybe try crawling. And if you're just a crawler, just try some racing. Or maybe just do them all. That's kind of what I do. All right, guys. See you next time. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell.